Hello and welcome to Crafting with Katherine. No, that's not it. Crafting Unscripted. Wow, that was a little bit of a brain fart. All right, I'm just going to do a quick check. It looks like maybe I'm online, maybe I'm not. Barbara, hello everyone. Hope everyone has having a good day. I hope everyone's having a good day too. Barbara, can you let me know if you hear me? Because I can't see myself live on the internet yet. So hopefully this is coming through. I'm going to wait a few moments while we get sort of checked up here and checked out. And we are hopefully going to have some fun today. Hi, Katherine. Hi, Nancy. Welcome, 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 Nancy. I got your email back this morning, so you can hear me perfect. All right, so today I've got like a weird craft. We're gonna like wing this because I haven't actually done this before. I don't know. I had the idea. Nancy a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago now, because summer kind of got in the way. Nancy sent me a request about learning how to make like this lid opener thing. So we're gonna give it a shot. I don't know how it's gonna work, but we'll try it out and we'll see what we can do with this. But before we get on to that, I quickly want to let everyone know there's a whole lot happening right now. I've got and I put the links in the description of the video for all these things that you want to, if you want to access them. There is the Maker Summit happening right now with my friend Erin Reed. It's live virtual. It's like a virtual summit, so it's not like the normal summits that we do. This is kind of like a sorry, Barb, I saw you there. I'm glad you can hear me now. So, but this it's a virtual summit, so you got to buy tickets for it. It's not like the free summits that I normally do. So that's with my friend Erin Reed. It's called the Virtual Maker Summit. The link is below for that. I'm also currently advertising for the Art of Handmade Summit, and in that summit, I teach you how to watercolor paint with your Cricut without watercolor paints. I know that's a mouthful and that sounds kind of weird, but it's a thing. I did it. I have a whole project on it, so I can teach you how to do that. If you're a Cricut user, there is a link for that below as well. And that summit is happening September 15th to the 18th, so that's a Monday to Thursday of next week. You can also get VIP tickets for that, so that's also in the description. And then I just started advertising yesterday, so the link is at I've got a link for that as well. This is a new thing. It's the Cardmaker and SVG Summit. So if you like to make cards and you have a cutting machine, it doesn't need to be a Cricut. It could be a Silhouette or a Brother or whatever. Any machine that uses SVG files, this summit is for you. There's a whole lot of cards. I did a really cute tunnel card for that one. Again, the link is in the description below for that. That's a free summit from October 1st to October 4th, and you can grab tickets for that. So if you don't have tickets, the free tickets, the Art of Handmade is the 15th to the 18th. That's next week. And then the Card Making and SVG is October 1st to the 4th. But you can get VIP tickets and start watching that right away. All right, that's my housekeeping stuff. I'm going to put that away so I remember. I can never remember dates, so I had to write it down today. So I'm going to try to change my screen here. And if I can figure out how to do this now, hold on a second. All right, so I've got a bit of a mess. We're going to do something different here. We're going to try something different. So we're going to sew today. Now, this is a new project. This is a new thing. This is like a lid opener. So I've got like fabric. This is like, I don't know, say denim, some sort of a denim. It's like, it came in a big roll. I got it from somebody. And it's scrap material. So I'm going to be using denim because I think from what I've researched, it needs to be a little more stiffer of a, what is a tunnel card? All right, Nancy, I'll get to that question in just a second. So this, you want more of a stiff material for this outline, for the back of this, because you're going to be holding on to this, right? So like if you're using cotton, like I use like a lot of fabric, like from leftover t-shirts and stuff, that's not going to work because it's kind of too loose. So you got to have this stuff. This is the first fabric that we need. The next thing that we need is, now hopefully this is going to work. This is like drawer liner. Like this is like this no stick stuff. You put it into your drawers to make them look pretty. So this is like a weird marbly look. There's this kind, and there's also the kind that has like holes in it. So everything that I've researched, everyone's used the holy kind. I'm going to try this one because I've got this one. I don't feel like buying more crafts. But this is not to be mistaken with this kind of liner, which is like the peel and stick, right? Because this is not going to work. Well, it might, but we're not sewing on this today. So this is not the stuff. This is like this no stick stuff. It's like almost like got a texture to it, almost like a plasticky fabric stuff. So that's what we need. And we need my sewing machine over here. You can't really see it. I've kind of got it on the side here. So that's what we're going to use to make this weird craft. But before we get on to the craft, I'm gonna look at these questions because the chat's going crazy here with questions. So a tunnel card, Nancy, is a card that when you open it up, it like looks like you're looking into a tunnel. Can we get a sneak peek at your card for the SVG and Card Summit? You know, maybe if I could, I don't have it handy right now. But let me just think. I don't even know where I put it. I've been trying to like organize my mess from the summer and it's here somewhere. It might be in that pile of junk in that direction. So let me think about where it might be, and if I can like spot it in between the other things that we're doing here, I'll see if I can find it and like maybe do a sneak peek. But if not, I can bring it out next week for sure. Okay, so this fabric here, and this stuff here. Now, depending on how big your hand is, depending on how big your jar is, you can like make this a different size. You can make this bigger or smaller. I don't recommend smaller though, because like it's not, maybe it's not going to work. Now, ideally you want 2 of these. We're going to do 1 because you can make the second one afterwards, because I'm like, we might be short on time on this. Also, I have my new sewing machine here, right? And so I don't know if you can get a better view of this. Let me see if I can like, there it is, my new sewing machine. I've only used it like once or twice. It's pretty good. I haven't had issues with it, but since we're live, chances are things are not going to go according to plan. So be warned, okay? So this piece and this piece, we want to cut them at 6 inches in size. Now I'm going to do this like not super professionally, because I'm not a super professional. But like you can use like a square, which I don't have. You can use fancy stuff, which I also don't have. I've got scissors, a pen, because my pencil doesn't work very well on this. And I'm going to measure out 6 inches one way and the other way. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to here. All right, now I'm going to try and be 6 inches. Now don't judge me for my like haphazard skills here. And we're going to go 6 this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And I got to cut off this little top bit here because that's not included. All right, so almost a square. All right, so I'm going to quickly cut this out. Scissors here. Now, if you're like really good at sewing, I'm medium, maybe medium, maybe a little bit less than medium. You might have like pinking shears. I have pinking shears that don't work because all of my scissors have decided to go dull on me. So I just use my like all-purpose scissors that are half sharp, half not sharp, but I use them for everything so they get dull really quickly. But if you've got like, you know, if you're actually good at sewing and you do a lot of it, you will probably have better tools than I do. You'll probably have like squares that let you measure sizes and help you make straight lines. I go old school with like a ruler and hope that my cutting skills and my line making skills are good enough. All right, 6-inch square. Yes. We're moving along. I'm gonna throw that on the floor. Now I gotta do the same thing with this guy here. And so I'm going to, where do I got a spot here? I'm just gonna draw around this guy so these are about the same size. Now you can make them bigger, right? Like I'm just using 6 inches because that's what the Google told me to do. And I'm sure you guys are all laughing behind the screens at my cutting and drawing abilities, but I've resorted to using pen when I do most of my sewing because all this stuff is going to be on the underside anyways. But all the chalk pens that I have, they all end up like, by the time I get to the point of sewing, it ends up like the chalk is missing, there's no lines there, and so I've given up on that. All right, another 6-inch square. 10 minutes. I've got 2 squares cut. Things are going well here. So now I was thinking about actually doing this, Nancy. I was thinking of doing this one as a full-on video and not like a live craft. But I thought, you know what? Let's just do this live. So Nancy, to your original question, you've given me like you purchased like this piece of fabric thing coated with plastic and like a purple or blue circle on it, and it ripped. So with that, with what you've got, in theory, I don't know what fabric you have that you used for it. Sorry, I'm trying to cut this here, but these scissors are not very good with denim, but we'll just chug along here slowly. I don't feel like looking for my wheel that actually cuts, but somewhere hidden in my mess. Anyways, so you got that already, like you got your little shape thing, right? Like what you have where you bought it and it's got the rip through it. In theory, I think what you could do is just with this, and instead of using fabric, you could just use that piece that you have. That's my thought. I don't know. You might have to try it out, but because we're just gonna like put this together in a second here. Now, I'm not making this fancy. If you're like super cute and have cute fabrics, I don't, then you can use those, and that would be fantastic because then it would look really cute, and you could like do it as a gift or as a whatever. You obviously just use it for yourself as well. We're almost done. I need to get better scissors for cutting fabric. All right. This can also go on the floor. I lost my pen, but that's okay. All right, so now before we carry on, this liner that I have is like fancy one side, boring on the other side. This boring side that has all these like bumps and divots and stuff, this is what we want to have on the outside when we are finished. So when we are sewing this together, we want to sew it like this. So the smooth side will be on the top, because this is going to be flipped later, right? We're going to flip this so that it looks pretty. Now, I don't have pins anywhere. I'm just going to do this really poor job of this. But we're going to just sew around this. I'm going to eyeball it because this is just the way I do my original ones. And I'm going to leave like a little gap here so I can flip this. All right, so we're going to try with this new sewing machine. I've whatever it so that I've got, I've pre-threaded it so that I don't have to try threading it live on TV here, but knowing my luck, it's going to pull out. So I'm going to do like all the way around. All right, so we're going to try that. And if you're, I need some pins. This isn't going to work. I'm going to use pins, not clips. This is already moving all over the place. When I'm sewing this, I'm actually going to try to like back stitch it at the beginning and at the end so that I don't have my thread pop on me later. All right, now I don't know how loud this is going to be for you, so I'm really sorry. If it gets super duper loud, let me know and I'll try to like turn my mic off and then maybe that'll work, but we'll see. All right, so here we go. Let's do some live sewing with my new sewing machine. Maybe we can do some live sewing. Gotta turn it on, folks. Gotta turn it on. Now I'm trying to do about 1/8 of an inch seam here, so we'll see how that turns out. And I'm sorry I can't get my sewing machine closer. I don't have any more cable on the foot pedal. Okay. Woo! We did it. So as usual, I made my hole smaller than I should have, but that's okay. We'll get there. So now we want to cut the corners, like snip, snip, snip. And then on this one side that I came in a little bit too close, I'm also going to trim that a little bit because that's too much. And you don't want to cut through the threads, obviously. Now, I should have left this little hole here that I made a little bit bigger, but oh well, you live, you learn. This is the, like, as I call it in my schedule, this is the mock-up. This is the test run that we try to make before we do the fancy videos of stuff when I'm making the actual pretty videos and all that nonsense. So speaking of pretty videos, so while I'm trying to just snip these edges that I did a terrible job sewing. This week I've already posted, and it's a bit late, but you know, better late than never. I posted already the notebook pen holder video. So if you haven't seen that yet, that's up and living its best life. And I've also got the blog post for that where I've got a few more tips and stuff. So now I've got to flip this inside out through this minuscule hole that I've left for myself. So watch me cry in a second as I do this. And I'm also kind of finishing right now this video. I've got it finished. It's just going to come out tomorrow. And a blog post for the, I have to probably do this off screen. A blog post for a large tissue pouch. So in my car, in my life, we always need tissues because I got 3 kids and we always use tissues. There's snot everywhere. Don't make the hole super small like me. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. That's what I tell my kids. So I've got this huge, like this regular size tissue pouch. I like it because when we have a tissue box in the car, it always gets like fall aparty because the kids like kick it or get juice on it or whatever. And so in 20 minutes when I turn this around, we'll be, you know, able to talk about that some more. But oh my God, I can't do this. I gotta cut this thread a little bit here, folks. Sorry, I can't do this. Where's my little tool? Where's my tool? I lost my tool. Perfect. I have this little tool that I use for this, but let's see if I can make this work. Sorry, I gotta snip this. I can't cut this like. All right, I'm gonna give myself like a little bit more space. So don't cut it. Don't fold this super small. So that blog post on the tissue paper holder and the video will be available tomorrow on my website and on my YouTube channel at about noon. I think I've got it set for like 12:15 airtime or 11:45, so something like that. All right, so now that I've made my hole bigger, this is gonna pop through. So don't make this super tiny. All right. Yes, it's gone through. Now, as I'm not an expert at anything, I just learn to do all this stuff. I'm going to use a pencil to poke my corners out. Now you want to poke, I'm just going to show you want to poke on this side, not on this side, because you don't want to like rip this plasticky stuff. Okay. Sorry. Is everyone still here with me? I feel like I've worked up quite the sweat on this activity, trying to just flip this through. Nancy, are you still with me here? Hopefully this is helping you with what we were hoping for. All right. Woo! Now I got this little square. This was supposed to be 6 inches. Things are changing in size pretty quickly. This corner's not all the way. Barbara, random question. At one of the summers of VIP bonuses, you were having a Zoom class this September. I know I signed up for it, but I haven't gotten any info for it. Okay, so I have to, yes, I am having a live thing. So I've been fighting with my email provider because something messed up and they wouldn't take responsibility for it. And then finally today they fixed it. But the problem is that the fix takes place today or yesterday when they fixed it. So everything from when it broke to when it got fixed is like gone. So this week, after I finish some other things, I have to go through all of my purchases through my shop where you purchase the tickets for the live event through the VIP Summit. And then I have to email everybody the information again because it didn't get through. And the best part is I get to do this for September, October, November, and half of December. So I'm a little bit irked on that one because it was like I had set it up and it always worked and there was no problems. And so Barbara, I will email you. I'm hoping to get those out this week because I think next week is when the week before when I normally send out the information on like the supplies that are needed and all that stuff. So I'm trying to get that sort of ready this week to send out so that I have that for you because I'm really annoyed with it because everyone who wants to go to this obviously signed up for it for a reason. And now we are like, I'm just scrambling to get it to work, but it's been fixed. I've come up with a different solution as well. So moving forward, if this ever happens again, hopefully I've kind of bypassed it. So if you are participating in the Card and SVG Summit and you bought the VIP tickets, and I'm also doing my December craft is for that. I have a different sort of layout now. So you get a special document that gives you the links that'll work in the future. And then you also get the email sequence. So that would be through my shop. You'll have the access to that. So hopefully that'll all work. But I will be emailing that out, Barbara. So Okay, now, last thing that we're supposed to do. Now, you don't have to do this, but I guess you kind of do because we got a hole here at the side. We want to fold this hole in nicely, not like the little terrible job that I'm doing, and then we're going to sew around this whole thing. Now, I want to sew pretty close so that like I can close this little gap here, and that's kind of how it's going to work. So bear with me as I try to sew this. Now, I conveniently am using white thread, so this is gonna turn out beautifully, right? That's the plan. That's not going to work. This is already not working. Perfect. Let's see if I can get this to work. I can feel this being an issue. All right, let's see if I can do this. I probably won't be able to do this very well. So if on your sewing machine, what you need, I've got this little foot. This is a metal foot. And it is going to like catch on this because this is a no stick. You need a silicone foot for this. I don't happen to have one in my new sewing machine, so that's sad news. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to put this back in here. We're going to come up with a different solution. Just one second here. Let me think. Surely don't have a foot here. Okay, so we need a silicone foot so that this actually goes through. But if I... do. Don't judge me, but we're gonna do something here really silly. I'm gonna put paper on this. I'll pull the paper off later. This is just to show you, and the paper will wash out if I wash this. I've sewn on paper before because this is what we do at Katherine Learn Stuff, because we're a little bit weird over here. So this should hopefully help me pull this through, because if I don't have like a silicone foot, which I don't, then I'm not getting anywhere with this. So bear with me as we have a total chaos right now. And now we're flying blind. Oof. That's not going to work, but oh well. So I got to do this last little bit by hand because I have to, I ripped the paper too far and I messed it up. Down. Bear with me as I break my new sewing machine. One last turn and then we're done here. Don't judge me, folks. I need to get better sewing. Okay. Now, don't judge my weird sewing. Okay. Cut off this extra fabric. Your sewing machine is so small. What kind is it? It's a Genome. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Let me just pull this off. Okay, so now we have a little thing done. So this is my sewing machine. I'm just going to change the angle here for a second, and I'm going to try to show you my machine. Nope, I'm not going to be able to. This is my machine. Sorry, it's sideways, but I can't sort of do my thing. So it's just a little machine. I don't know. I do sewing. Like I sew a fair amount when I think about it. But that's the machine. And so far it's doing well. So there you go. We now have a big mess, but we also have this jar opener. Now, the problem is I don't have a jar. Maybe I do. Just one second. I'm going to go into my cellar. Don't go away. We're going to see if we can see if this actually works. got a jar here of peaches. My kids are eating peaches for dinner tonight. All right, ready? No, it's not working. Oh, there it goes. So there you go. So if, in theory, if you had two, you'd have one on top and then one on the bottom, and then this doesn't slip on the bottom either. So now we've got peaches for dinner, and we have a lid opener thing. I don't know what they're called. Nancy, what was this called again? I can't remember. It's like a, I don't know, lid opening fabric tool thing. Awesome. All right. So that's that. And we did it in like record time here. All right. Barbara, hopefully you're still here. I'm going to move this. I have to move this so I don't knock it over and break it because it's glass. And knowing me, I'm going to have broken glass. Okay, give me 1 second. A gripper. I love it. I got to remember that name. So just 1 second, Barbara. Let's see if I've got this. It's not in that pile of junk. Is it in this pile of junk? No. I have it somewhere because I have to have it for in a few weeks when I do my live. And in that summit, I do have a live. Oh, Barbara, here. This is my attempt at the composition book. I was doing this and like it just, you can see it there a little bit. All of it just did not go on properly at all. So that's kind of a garbage one. But that's going to be on the blog next week if I ever fix it. Where is that card? That's a good question. All right, one more spot. Maybe it's in my card bin. That's not my card bin. Okay. In my card bin where I have a bazillion cards. Oh, this is it. Found it. This isn't the final one. This is one of the prototypes. Maybe, oops, I think. So it's just a card. Looks like this, and then it's a tunnel card. So when you open it, it's like you're looking into a tunnel. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing in that summit. So like you open it, it's a tunnel. And then I give you a template to do a different kind of tunnel card. It's a little bit different. So that's going to happen. I think I present on the first day in that summit, but I'm not totally sure. And I'm doing 3 Q&As in that summit, so make sure you pay attention to those as well. And then if you sign up for the summit, if you do the regular summit, you'll get it on the day of my presentation if you want. And then if you do it VIP, you can get it right away. All right, so recap. Tickets for the Virtual Maker Summit. They're still available until the 13th. So please sign up for that if you want that. That's a paid event though, so make sure you are aware of that. The Hobby School Art of Handmade is happening next week, Monday, the 15th to the 18th. I'm doing a watercolor painting with Cricut tutorial. Check that out. That one for sure I'm on day 1, so I'm on the Monday. I'm going to say I'm on the Monday. Pretty sure I'm on the Monday. And then the Cardmaking and SVG Summit is October 1st, which is a Wednesday, to the 4th. Tickets are available for that. There's VIP tickets and there's free tickets as well. So make sure that you get those. And now my sewing machine works. We have a little thing to open up my jars with. I do need a Teflon foot though for my sewing machine, although the paper hack worked pretty well, other than, you know, not doing the greatest lines with sewing, but what you gonna do? All right. So that's it for today. I hope you have had a great time. Nancy, thank you for the idea. I'm going to have to figure out what to do with this next, other than like, you know what I mean, for the crafting world, not just for with this, because this is going to clearly go into my kitchen drawer so I can open jars now. So this is hopefully, oh, I forgot. We're actually supposed to like, if you want this to be a little bit sturdier, you should kind of go through the center to like cross it here and create to hold this a little bit better. But it works. It works without that in the middle there as well. So that's kind of the idea there. So that's it for this week. We're back next week. I think next week we might move over to Halloween, only because I went to the dollar store and I bought Halloween paper. Because I need more paper, like I need a hole in the head. Anyways, here we go. Crafting next week. We'll see you on Thursday at 12:15. Thanks everyone for joining. Happy crafting.